Hello everybody, it's Chris, and I'm posting a video today about the radio. One of my channel followers named is American Dude 3825. I believe that's it. American Dude 3825. He said, "Hey Chris, can you do a video on the audio system, the volume, etc., etc.?" And I said sure, and so this is it. Now I will say, you might not even see this video because I just shot a video on my distance to empty meter, my fuel range meter right there, which is now reading 191, which I've been having some problems with up until about an hour ago actually. And so I shot a whole video on it, and when I filled up with the video on recording, it actually worked, so it resolved itself. But I had a good video, but when I took it home to edit it, I had no audio, and I cannot explain why I didn't have audio. My audio system's been working well. I use a Purple Panda mic plugged into a media mod wrapped around my GoPro camera. It works pretty well, but I had no audio. Now I could hear it, I could hear myself talking, but it was very faint. So my microphone was not picking up the audio, and instead the GoPro camera microphone, which is right here outside of the helmet, was faintly picking up what I was saying. So it was unusable on YouTube. Nobody would ever sit through it because it would have been torture. I am hoping, I went through the system, I unplugged it, plugged it back in. I am hoping it was a fluke. It's happened to me once before on just a clip of a video that I did. I'm hoping that it is resolved. If it's not resolved, you will not see this video. I have to go back to the drawing board and I'm trying to fix this problem. However, back to the radio system. So for American Dude, and for anyone else who's interested in the Can-Am Spyder and the audio system, I'm going to do a brief review on the existing audio system, and I'm going to give you an idea that is a recent discovery of mine. Now when I say a discovery of mine, I'm a late adopter on a lot of technology, so many of you probably are already aware of radio apps. But if you're not aware of radio apps, it's something to consider for your Spyder, and I'll explain why. But first, to the audio system. So it's an FM radio system, no AM radio. I guess AM radio is going by the wayside, although I'm a news talk guy. Not so much talk, but news. And AM is often the only place, depending on where you are, where you can get good news. And I don't mean good news as in positive news, I mean just a good, reliable news report. You can also use, tied in with your phone or with Apple CarPlay if you have it on the newer models, you can also use iTunes or music piped in through that system. But in terms of the radio, I have a radio station set here. It's our local NPR station, because it's a news format station. Whatever you think of NPR, they do provide a source of news, and I really like their marketplace report that they do every couple of hours or so on what's going on in the markets. But I will tell you, I've had the Spyder for 3 months, and I cannot figure out how to use the presets, so I don't use it anymore. And quite frankly, I don't even use the radio anymore, and I'll explain why when I talk about the radio app. But what I'm going to do is, the radio is on now. It's on 88.7, which is the local, like I said, NPR station. And I'm going to, it's off right now in terms of the volume is set at the lowest setting, but I'm going to slowly ratchet it up. I'm going to pause here and just keep in mind the microphone for this, if the audio is working, the microphone is inside my helmet. I don't know what that means in terms of my ears are also inside the helmet. But I'm gonna slowly, gradually move this up louder and louder. Now this is halfway now. I'm gonna now go from here to the full blast. We're in the middle of nowhere, so I'm not gonna offend anybody.
Covering a broad range of stories.
You've got less pain now.
They're running out of blood. What's it like on that stage? There's this
now I know there's a lot of static, but I'm hoping you can hear it.
On the PBS News Hour. Listen nights at 8.
I'm now lowering it down. So here's what I'll tell you. I do not like to play my audio loud like that, and I refuse to do it. and I can't figure out how to hook up my Sena 3S universal headset to the Spyder so I can pipe it in through my earphones, my intercom system. But I figured out a workaround. So the radio's loud enough if you wanna blast it like I just had it blasted, you can probably enjoy it. I don't like that because I view it as a public nuisance. I have figured out how to connect my phone to my intercom on my helmet. So I've discovered that there are a thing called radio apps that you can download on your phone, and I'm going to go to one right now called TuneIn. I don't know if TuneIn is the best one. I believe it's one of those deals where they sell advertising, even more advertising than the radio station that you're listening to. So I've got a bunch of options, but I'm going to play the NPR station that I was just playing. All right, so I'm going to click on WBFO, which is the NPR station we were just listening to on my audio here. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to turn on my intercom. So my intercom is on. I'm listening to news right now. Now what I don't know is if you can hear it because it's coming in through my ears. Whether or not you can hear it, I'm going to shut down the intercom. I shut that down. I'm just pointing out that these apps are awesome. Many radio stations have their own apps, so if you've got a favorite radio station in town, or maybe the beauty of using an app, whether it's the radio station's app or one of these aggregators like TuneIn, the beauty of that is you can listen to a radio station in your hometown from another town. Maybe you want to listen to a station out of Chicago, but you live in Dallas. You can do that with these apps, and you can pipe it right in through the intercom system. I don't listen to radio a lot. Quite frankly, I don't want the distraction when I'm riding, but I like to, on the hour, every once in a while when I'm on a long distance cruise, I'll turn the intercom on, I'll put that app on, and I'll listen to one quick news report. What I like about NPR is they provide BBC reports, some of the stations do. Again, I like that marketplace report, but no matter what you like to listen to, so it's just something to consider. So the radio system is what I would call a decent system. I think the speakers are loud. If you like to play them that loud, again, I don't like to do that. I find that a public nuisance, but you know, if you're okay with it, that's your business. If you can figure out how to program your intercom to the BRP system, you can then pipe it into your ears and your helmet, and there you go. I've not figured out how to, you know, work the presets or connect my helmet to BRP, to the Can-Am system, but I have figured out the workaround that I explained with the apps. Look, I've said it time and again, I love this machine, and Can-Am, this is a great job. Like, kudos for putting this product out. But when it comes to the technology, you know, I know you're aware of the complaints about BRP Connect. I know that, and I cannot be the first person who is riding a Can-Am Spyder who can't figure out how to do the presets. And by the way, I've watched videos on how to do the presets. I still can't figure it out. I can't connect my helmet to the system. So maybe it's time, and I've explained other issues I've had with this system, with the fuel management end of it and whatnot. Maybe it's time, Can-Am. So you recently contracted with Apple for CarPlay, and I know you've got some licensing issues going on with that, but maybe it's time you said, look, we just don't have what it takes to do any of this. We put out a good trike. Our engine company in Austria, Rotax, makes good engines, but in terms of technology, we just don't have it. So partner up with Apple, not for Apple CarPlay, but for the whole shebang, or Sony, or Toyota, or anybody, Yamaha, who you used to compete with in the snowmobile realm. Somebody who's figured out how to produce a front end system, or whatever you call this thing, that works. Pay them dearly, charge a little bit more for the machine, even though I think you charge a fair price for the machine right now. And when I say fair price, I mean you charge for it. You're not giving these things away. But have them develop the system, have them incorporate the tire pressure monitoring system, and instead put those energies into figuring out the other little bugs and gremlins that you've got on the Spyder. That's just my 2 cents. But other than that, I don't know. I hope this video helps you. It's a decent radio. It's built into a larger technology system that has its quirks. Thanks again for watching, and thanks so much if you subscribe, and whether you subscribe or not, you have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.